These are 6 reasons why you should absolutely study abroad. If you know me, if you've watched some of my videos or you maybe saw me on Instagram or somewhere, you probably know that I study abroad, but it's a little bit more complicated or complex because I am originally from the Czech Republic. I went abroad to study the whole university bachelor's degree in Spain, in Madrid, half in English and half in Spanish. And this past semester, I went to Belgium for 1 semester on Erasmus. So this is basically my backstory of studying abroad. And I would say at this point, I have a good amount of experience because this year I'm starting my 4th year of bachelor's, because in Spain, there's usually 4 years of bachelor's and then one of master's. Obviously, it depends on the degree. Like, for example, the medical degrees are different. So basically, I have 3 years of studying abroad behind me, but in 2 different countries, 2 different maybe programs or systems. Everywhere I go, I recommend studying abroad. First of all, I want to start by saying that obviously I know that not everyone has the opportunity or the chance or the circumstances, but my point is that if you do, I think you really, really should consider going. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. Let's dive into it. The very first reason is that you can try out different education systems, and also you can try different classes that maybe your home university doesn't offer. At this point, I have experienced 3 different educational systems. First one is Czech, second one is Spanish, and third one is Belgian. In the Czech system, I have an experience with primary, secondary school, and high school, and then just what I hear from my sisters and friends about university. In Spain and Belgium, I have experience with university systems. I have to say, I think for me, all 3 feel different, and I'm really happy that I had the chance already to try out these different systems and maybe figure out what I like, what I don't like, because I might might become a journalist in the future, because that's what I'm studying. I just say like that because I don't really know what exactly I'm going to be doing, but like topics or branches I'm generally interested in are culture and also education. So maybe in the future, I will be writing about education. I really am passionate about Czech education in particular because there are a lot of things that bother me and I think could be improved a lot. Another side of this is being able to take classes that you might not be able to take in your home university, or different kind of classes, because, for example, I really like writing and books and everything around that. In my home university, I don't really have a lot of options for classes that are connected to this. I think there's only one class that's like a history of literature and writing. In Belgium, I was supposed to take 2 really, really cool literature classes, young adult literature, and the second one was, I think, literature of the 20th century. When I was looking through the syllabus of the classes, there were books that I've already read in the past. I was so excited about it. In the end, I wasn't able to take those classes. I'm not going to go into that right now because it's not that important, but at least I had the option and I was really excited about it. Reason number 2 is maybe the most obvious one, which is cultural immersion. If you're living in a different country and city for a couple of months or years, you are able to experience local culture, meeting local people, getting to know and see the characteristics of those people and their habits and routines, which in Spain was a big shock for me, to be honest, or a big adjustment, because they go to bed late. Like with this topic, I never like to overgeneralize because obviously there's people who are going to have it different, but some habits are very widespread among Spanish people, for example, and especially closing stores around, I haven't really figured out the exact hour yet, even though I've lived there for 2.5 years, but I think around like 2 or 3, and they reopen usually at 5, 6, I think. And I always forget about it. I always go out, I want to buy stuff or go look at stuff, and it's just closed and there's nobody. You can also learn a new language, which is also one of my passions. I love that. That was one of the reasons why I went abroad to Spain. I didn't learn a lot of Dutch in Belgium, but I did a lot of other stuff. And I think if you just live in that place for a longer period of time, you have the time to actually really see how it is instead of maybe seeing it in the movies or just hearing about it. So that's why I really wanted to go on Erasmus, to have the opportunity basically to live in a different country and city again. Reason number 3, and it's a big, big, big one, probably the biggest one for me, is personal growth. I can't express how much I've grown basically since I moved abroad. The first 2 years were really hard. I'm not gonna say horrible because they were nice, but for my mental health, it was really difficult because you get so much out of your comfort zone, or at least I did, because I've never lived alone before. I've never lived further away from my family and from my friends, and even alone in the sense of being in a different place where you don't know anybody and you have to build that life for you basically from zero. You have to navigate a new environment, you have to get used to different kinds of stores. Like, yes, in Belgium there was little, just like things that are coming to my head, Pepco, Action. What other store do I know? I think Carrefour Express, which is just a smaller one, and obviously like clothing stores like H&M and stuff, yes. But I think grocery stores are the biggest thing because I my favorite one is Lidl, and I don't think that one is in Spain or no, sorry, that's wrong. There is, but it was further away from where I live, and I think I even realized that like later on. So I had to learn or get to know Carrefour because that was closest to where I was living, and you have to like learn what kinds of things they sell because it's different that what you have at home. You have to like find substitutes or like some similar things that you can use. And like I remember the first time I came to Spain, I was there with my mom and we went grocery shopping, and we just like spent a lot of time there because we didn't know where things are and we didn't know what they have and offer, so we were just like walking through. And now like that specific what is it called, that specific like store, the location where I always used to go, like now I know every corner of it, and I like whenever I needed something I just went straight to the specific aisle that it was in, because also it was like pretty big store. So that's just maybe something you might not think about. And like whether I need some like skincare or hair products, like I always bring it from home with me because I'm used to certain brands and stuff. And in the beginning I was maybe not lazy to figure that out there and find like new options, but you just have so many other things going on in your head and issues you're dealing with that this is the last thing you want to do. And actually that's number one thing that I recommend, to just bring these quote unquote necessities with you, and at least in the beginning. Even a freaking stupid toothpaste, have it with you in the beginning so you have time, you know, to figure that out in the new country. I mean, this personal growth, it includes even more things, such as, for example, having to go to the doctor in a new country. Basically, like solving problems and situations all by yourself, far away from your friends and family. And you just have to do all of these things on your own because nobody else is going to do them for you. I remember like going to the doctor was such a huge thing for me because I didn't know how the system works there. I had to like Google it a lot. I asked around. First, I went to like the wrong quote unquote hospital or medical center. I was redirected somewhere else. I had to, you know, provide some documents. In the end, now it's quite easy, luckily. But before you figure it out, it takes some time and courage. Also, like when you're sick, there's at least in the beginning nobody to take care for you. And being sick for the first time alone away from my mommy was so hard. Like I felt like such a kid because I don't know, it just in that moment you just feel very vulnerable and it doesn't feel good. Reason number four that I haven't really experienced myself yet, I think, is basically a career boost, because at least in my head and from what I've seen on the internet and people told me, it is a big plus to have something like this in your resume because it might differentiate you from the rest of, for example, applicants for a job. If you've studied abroad or like lived in a different country, maybe in the future it will be beneficial to have something like this. But we're gonna wait and see, I guess, because yes, I'm working obviously along with like studying, but haven't really used that necessarily for the benefit of my career. Reason number five is expanding your worldview. It's a word that I have a really hard time saying. I think when you study abroad, you have the opportunity to gain new perspective and see things and issues from different perspective, whether it's political issues or just like outlook on life. Specifically, when I went on Erasmus, I met people from so many different countries and continents and parts of the world, and we talked a lot of the times we actually did talk about politics and how we want to live life, how we think things should work. And it was so interesting to hear it from like those people from different parts of the world. Because like some things that we talked about, I was like, oh my God, I never really thought about it in this way. And I think I would have never thought about it in that way if I hadn't met those people and talked about it with them. I think it makes you more empathetic and open minded and accepting. I think what kind of also falls under this category is it makes you think about where you would like to live in the future, which I think might also be one thing that some people never even think about, and they just stay where they are, maybe where their family lived, because it's just probably the thing to do. But once you get out of the place and the country, all of a sudden you might realize that the place you were living wasn't the best option for you, or you would just like to live somewhere else. I don't know. Because for me, I really don't know now, and I think I'll have to figure it out in the next couple of months or years. I'm not really stressed about it. I believe that it's going to come when it's going to come. And also, for me specifically, it made me appreciate my own country. For example, all of a sudden when I left and came back, I realized how convenient our healthcare system is. Again, at least for me, where I can just go to my doctor whenever I want. I usually don't pay anything extra because we have public insurance or public healthcare, which I'm so grateful for, to be honest, because it's very important for me. And maybe just like the nature or like certain places, it's just when you leave and it's not like a sure thing anymore that you have every day in your life, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I actually miss this. I miss this. I wasn't grateful enough for this aspect of my country because I didn't realize that it's something maybe like a privilege. Because before I went to study abroad in Spain, I was thinking in a way where I was like, I need to leave my country for a bit. I need to leave Czech people for a bit. I'm really glad I did it because I think because of that, maybe now I will be able to actually live here full time in the future. Whereas if I hadn't had left, maybe I would get sick of it and I would leave forever. I don't know. Reason number 6, the final one, is making lifelong memories and connections and experiences, because I have so many big or small positive or negative memories from these past 3 years that I'm really happy that I have. I'm really grateful, honestly, to even have this opportunity. And as cheesy as it sounds, it really made me who I am today, and I don't think I would be where I am personal growth wise, quote unquote career wise, and just life wise if I hadn't made that decision probably 4 years ago. And from Erasmus now, I hope I have even lifelong friendships. I have, for example, one friend from Switzerland that is probably gonna watch this video, so hello, where we just call each other randomly, like maybe in a month, 2 months, just like pick up the phone and call just to like update each other because he was one of my best friends on Erasmus. And then I have some other friends that I really don't text with, but I know that once, for example, I plan a trip to their city, I'm just gonna message, we're gonna see each other. It's gonna be like we never were apart. I met some really incredible people there. I really hope that I will be able to see them again. It's just so fun to now like have so many people, honestly, all over the world, and be like, if I go here, I can visit this person. Or somebody talks about this country, I'm like, I have like a friend there, or a friend from there. So it's a lot of fun. Overall, again, I would just really recommend, if you can and if you want, just go abroad for some time at least, because I think what is super important is just like leaving your immediate environment that you're used to ever since you're born. Because for me, it really gave me the space to just think for myself and maybe rethink my values, my dreams, because I didn't have the influence. Because whether you want it or not, you are influenced by the people around you. I believe in that quote that you are who you surround yourself with. So it makes total sense. And I just had the space to just be apart from everything and everyone I knew and think for myself, discover life for myself, discover myself, honestly. It's very valuable. So I hope you like this video. It gave you some maybe new perspective. Please let me know if you've ever studied abroad, or if you are planning or studying abroad, where you would want to study abroad. Just, give me all your stories. I would really like to hear about them and read them, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.